All right, good afternoon to everybody. We've been tracking Beryl for many days now. I went back and checked, and it was last Wednesday, no, 2 Wednesdays ago nearly, that we started talking about Invest 95, and this really did become a historic storm, becoming Beryl, then becoming a hurricane, a major hurricane, and the earliest Category 5 on record here, making its way across the Caribbean as a 5 and a 4. It did weaken a lot once it crossed the Yucatan, and then its final landfall today on July 8th. So nearly 2 weeks of talking about this. What was so historic about this storm? Well, it's the furthest east a hurricane has formed in the month of June. That is not common at all. It was the earliest Category 4 on record. It was also the only Category 4 to form in the month of June. It was also the earliest Category 5 on record and the strongest hurricane to form before August 1st. It really checked off all these remarkable notes here on just how unusual a storm like this is this early in the season. It still exists, but thank goodness it's finally weakening some, but it's still causing big problems. Winds are still gusting over 50 miles an hour in Houston. Notice you can see the center of it, or your eye is right here north of Houston, moving northeast at 13 miles an hour. So it will continue to weaken, but now it's going to become more of a rain threat and maybe even a tornado threat for areas as it makes its way across the Midwest as we go through the next few days. Our winds here south of 22 miles an hour, and that's about as strong as they're going to get from this system. You can see the path here. It's going to take it up through parts of Arkansas tonight. It'll be in parts of Illinois and Missouri there by tomorrow, and then all the way up into Ohio by Wednesday here as it continues to move away. So our minimal impacts, one thing we'll notice today is that persistent south winds. We have some minor coastal flooding. It's not a major problem. Tides will be 1 to 2 feet higher than normal. About right now, high tides happening over the next few hours down here on the Louisiana coast. But in the lakes here and over on the Mississippi coast, I don't think we're going to see much in the way of tidal problems. Our secondary minor impact, rain. We've got a couple showers coming in today, so you may see a dark cloud here and there with some rain. And then I do have a better chance of rain tomorrow morning into the early afternoon. You can see more widespread with these tropical showers. This is associated with kind of a tail feature on Beryl. At this time tomorrow, Beryl's going to be well to our north by hundreds of miles, but it's got this tail of moisture extending down in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's why we've got better rain chances tomorrow morning, and then things begin to wind down by later tomorrow going into Wednesday. So tomorrow's going to be our best shot of rain here with this system. Isolated flooding, it is always possible whenever we get these tropical downpours, but the widespread flooding will remain in East Texas up to Shreveport, Texarkana, and into Little Rock, and then even further north up into southern Missouri there. There's a tornado risk. We've already had a few confirmed tornadoes in East Texas. I think we could have a bigger risk into the Shreveport area later this afternoon and evening. That's where the risk is highest. Our risk for tornadoes is much lower. Never really say there's zero when you're on the east side of a storm, but I think we're going to be far enough away where we avoid the bigger problems from any spinning storms. Good news is we're going to get a bit of a break here. I'm not worried about anything else developing in the near term. We might even have the next 2 weeks of quiet conditions. We've got a big plume of Saharan dust. You'll love to see it. It's going to create a kind of a stable atmosphere over the Atlantic there. So I'm feeling okay for at least the next few weeks that we're not going to have any big problems in the tropics. So we'll watch for higher rain chances tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully that'll keep our temperatures down some. Temperatures will moderate back into the mid-90s. It will feel very much like 108 to 112 each day when you're not getting rain, and notice we'll have some thunderstorms each afternoon. Just classic summertime weather here. Marine forecast, nothing major. Our winds are going to be persistent, but they never really get that strong down here. 10 to 15 knots sustained, but could gust over 20 to 25 knots at times. That's a light chop for most days. Your high tide, that's happening this afternoon right now on the coast, but closer to 5 p.m. for our lakes, and your low tide will happen in the early morning hours.